What's going on, everybody? This is Joe.
And Amy.
And we are back with another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Last time, very frustratingly, we were investigating, and we finally made it into the evidence room where seemingly the scene of the crime occurred. We used a lot of luminal testing fluid multiple times, having to come in and out often because we didn't get it the first time or the second time. But yeah, we were able to find a lot of blood in there. We were able to somehow implicate that Marshall was in there, or Officer Marshall.
His print.
Yeah, we found his print on like the one locker with the bloody handprint, where the bloody handprint was or whatever. So very
Gumshoe's locker.
Yeah, so we're gonna see where this takes us today. In court. Should be very interesting to see what's going on. Hey everybody, welcome. Thank you for being here. Please don't forget, before we get started, to subscribe and ring that bell so that you will get notifications whenever any of these videos come out for this series and any of our other series. And check out our other channels as well, link down in the description box below. Thanks so much for being here. All right, so we are here on February 24th, 9:41 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. So what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all... Lana. The victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you for too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. Jesus, they questioned her all night? For what? He was killed in a different place. So, how'd it go? It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless.
Yeah, we knew that already.
I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. Whoa. What?
Excuse me?
You just...
Without... talking to your attorney
what?
At all?
What the hell do you mean? That is not how this works, but also if you struck a plea bargain, then I guess the only thing we're here to do today is have the judge accept it.
All right.
You just have to bring it into court and present it to the judge and be like, Your Honor, this is the situation, and both sides agree to it, and the judge goes, okay, then that's what's happening. The judge technically can reject a plea bargain even if both sides agree to it.
Okay.
Very, very, very rare, but it can occur. But my God, what the hell? All right, let's do it. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. So that's it. That's...
She just says that so matter-of-factly, and then it's just like, okay, that's what I mean.
In
Emma,
fact, that's...
my sister, who... is trying desperately to keep me from being in jail for the rest of my life, essentially.
I'm so confused. So your plea bargain isn't really a plea bargain, it's just a deal, right? Because a plea bargain would be that you offer to plea to a particular thing. If I plead guilty, you'll offer me this, but that's not at all what's happening. Although, I know she's wanted to plead guilty this whole time, but... they wouldn't seek capital punishment.
She confessed.
Yes. So sometimes, and it depends on the jurisdiction, because we live in New York, and right now, and for many years now, our rules for capital punishment, while technically still on the books, have been gutted to the point where they don't really exist anymore. So there really isn't a death penalty in New York, but it's not like it's illegal. It's just that
technically it exists, but there really isn't one.
Yeah, it's a little confusing, but depending on the jurisdiction, depends on the rules. There are some places where capital punishment requires that you have a separate trial, or a separate hearing or whatever you want to call it for deciding on the death penalty as opposed to just guilt or not guilt. Okay. This may not. I mean, this game kind of does its own thing no matter what. But
right.
that's some jurisdictions that do that. I don't know that it's all of them. So, but that's so weird. And again, okay, I'm just gonna keep going. We'll talk more about it as things come up, I guess. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Ms. Skye. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belonged to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? You have to, man. And it's not, again, in this game, maybe it's different, but in, like, reality, at least the way that the U.S. system works, you're not, like, you're accusing him, yes, but then he has his own trial with his own attorney and etc. But as long as you're putting forth reasonable doubt that Lana Skye was the one who committed this crime, you're making your client be able to be declared not guilty.
Right, and you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Precisely.
So none of this will...
Well, they worked together, though, right? Like, Marshall and Lana Skye worked together. I remember that. So maybe she would be upset by that, but that's irrelevant. Like, if you're innocent and you know that you're innocent, all you're doing is putting forth a possibility of another person who could have done it. If he is innocent, it's not Phoenix's job, unless then Marshall hires Phoenix, to declare his innocence as well and explain away the print. That's the police's job or the prosecutor's job at that point, because it's being presented in court. Although, again, as all these things go, that evidence should be presented to the other side. It's not some trump card that you can pull out on the day in court and go, ha-ha, deal with that, because the prosecution's not going to have any information about that whatsoever. Like, that's not okay. You have to have given them that beforehand. We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Ms. Skye? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. She doesn't seem happy about it, though.
Nope.
February 24th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. Court is now in session for the trial of Ms. Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? Loud judge.
Wow. This guy is so stupid.
Welcome to the party, dude. What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. But because he was clearly moved... Anyway. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. Yeah, Phoenix, this is one messed up chapter of this game. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today, I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things.
Right.
Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself.
Right.
And that's supposed to be an admirable trait?
I mean, I suppose it is when you're a lawyer.
Yeah.
To at least sound like you know what you're doing.
Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand.
For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. Do we not know who this is yet? Have we met this suspect?
I don't think
I don't remember.
I don't think we know. I don't think we knew that there was a suspect.
Well, they said that they arrested somebody. They said it during the last trial. They were like, the chief of police said, we just arrested someone on that, like right now while we were talking. But I don't know that we know who that is.
No.
The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer?
Yeah, because he was like, I can't divulge that information or whatever stupid shit he said.
Yeah. Oh boy, things are getting wild from the get-go. I had to like memorize all that because I wanted you to be able to fit. Oh, that's right. Yes, we did. Meekins. Sorry, my bad. We did know that. Sorry.
Will the witness please state his name and occupation?
Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins, sir.
Of course, his name is Mike.
My occupation is That would be murderer, sir.
Wow.
Meekins, you fucking
You
idiot.
fool. You fucking fool.
Why, dude? Why?
I just can't. I just can't with this game, man.
I don't know the textbook definition of occupation, but I imagine it's got to be something that you get paid for, or at least receive some benefit for. What's the benefit for his being
He's
a
an
murderer?
assassin.
He's an assassin.
Clearly.
Murder for hire.
I mean,
yeah, I would not hire this dude as an assassin.
If he's not an assassin, I'm not.
The Queen of England.
Yeah.
Look at Phoenix's face. Yeah, I get it, dude. I definitely get it.
So stupid.
Edgeworth's
just like, oh god.
So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
Yes. Oh, this game is too good.
Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Why would they let him have this in the courtroom? That's not how this works at all. You know what? Genuinely, I could understand the police uniform because he's accused, right? He hasn't been found guilty.
Yeah.
So whoever his attorney is would probably encourage him to wear his police uniform because it shows I'm a person who deserves respect. Like,
right.
Even if it's kind of subconscious on other people's parts.
Right.
If you see someone wearing a uniform that commands authority and respect, you're more likely to give that person the kind of automatically give them respect
right.
because of it. So that makes perfect sense. The fact that he's wearing all the accoutrement with it is not correct at all. He would not. He's an accused. He was in lockup. He was in the detention center. He would not be able to just carry around a megaphone. That cord alone could be used to strangle someone else or himself.
Oh,
they would not
absolutely.
let you have that in court or
Absolutely.
in your jail cell.
Yeah, I mean, ties could too.
Sure, good point.
And
Yeah,
everybody's going to be wearing a tie,
Good
so.
Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is,
Sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir.
Oh, what?
Where are you going with this? Oh my god. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend.
What?
You know,
This is some absurd shit, and I thought we've seen it all when it came to absurd shit in this game. But nope. It just keeps dropping lower and lower. I don't know how it gets there.
please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir.
What, Judge? You don't... You won't say help me. That's not how this works. You tell him to control his witness, or you tell the bailiff, or you threaten the witness with, contempt or something. Oh my god.
Oh, I just can't handle it.
This judge
crying
legitimately
over here.
this judge is legitimately has
Like the worst judge on the planet.
you talk about I just mentioned somebody who commands authority and respect. This dude has neither of those. Von Karma came in here and ran this courtroom, and the judge was like, okay. And Edgeworth walks in and he's like, okay, well, today I'm presenting evidence on this trial. And the judge is like, well, please continue. It's like, that's your call, judge. You get to decide if he just talks about another crime today. That's not how this works. Now, the witness is being difficult, and the judge is like, help me. It's like, no. You help yourself. You literally have multiple people in this room whose sole job it is to do whatever you say. There are court bailiffs who have handcuffs. You have the ability to put this dude in contempt.
No, he doesn't.
You could put everybody in this room in contempt.
Joe, look at his face. Is that the face of a man who has that ability?
No, not with the line, help me, sir. No. Definitely not. This judge, man. You know what? I love the beard game. I respect it greatly.
Yeah.
But nothing else, man. Nothing at all.
Officer Meekins,
Yes, sir!
give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order.
Yes, sir! As you wish! After all, I am a part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir!
What the hell?
Ah!
Has he been brainwashed?
You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. All right, here we go. Crime report, sir!
Oh, I can't.
Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
So, the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you?
Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir.
Wow. This is such bullshit.
I see. Then you fainted, and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Is that so?
You little bitch. That's how it seemed. I don't think that if somebody faints, that makes them a bitch. What I'm saying is I feel like the way that the judge said that was like, he said, I lost consciousness. That's what Meekins said. And they're just like, then you fainted like an asshole. Like, it feels like that's how he's putting that.
Help me, Judge. Help me.
That's awesome. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know what there is to cross-examine. What I need here is more info to work with. Yeah, we all do, Phoenix. Crime report, sir. Okay, we're good. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. Okay, by whom? Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Wow, you're so intense. How many people just walk out? Like, that's what I want to know.
How many people go, oh,
Yeah.
This guy works here.
Yeah.
I can totally get this job.
That too, yeah. There's got to be like half of that
They're
and
like
half
all
of like...
nervous, and then they meet this guy, and they're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
I got my shit together good.
Yeah, I just imagine him coming in and being like, I want to tell you how great it is to be a police officer. And the guy's like, I'm gonna go. This was a big mistake.
That was such a great voice that you do for him.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's perfect.
It's very frantic. It's like, okay, yeah. I can't say that. It's from a different game. We'll get there.
Oh, damn.
Yikes. Now there's a scary thought. Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
I see. Sounds like a very, important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room.
Tell us, what did you see when you got there? I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? So he's got to be 498. There it is! I found it! This is the one right here!
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir! It's 498-9596! That's my number, sir! I see. Huh. But the number 498-9596 is shown as being used twice.
Please explain, witness.
It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room, and the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
I see. So it was during the second time when...
Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. Data added to the ID card record. IDs of all who entered the evidence room on February 21st. We got that last time, in the last episode. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir. A knife!
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then?
Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. Phoenix.
Factual.
That's mean. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him.
Wow, that sounds correct.
That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life. Then I did it. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
Wow. This dude is so pathetic.
What the hell does that mean? What do you mean you closed your eyes like a man? I see. He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and then the next thing I knew...
Yes?
He punched me right in my face, sir! After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. All right, so I'm just going to press this. This is the end of his testimony. Then we'll go back. My suspicion is we are supposed to show him the knife from SL6 or whatever the hell it's...
Nine.
SL9, thank you. Because that's the knife that he took from him and stabbed him with.
Right.
So I think, but let's just press him, and then it'll loop us back to the beginning, and then we can try to present things. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious! Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too! I woke up crying tears of pain!
Oh, God.
Like a man.
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission?
With the Blue Badger?
Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now.
Oh, we never fingerprinted the Blue Badger around where the smear is.
Oh, we can still technically do that, I think. Maybe not.
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point.
Yes, Officer Meekins?
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. What? What the hell? What do you mean a VHS was sent to your jail cell? Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir.
The chief?
Delivered it?
What is that? A videotape?
Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Oh,
You're not good at it.
Meekins.
I'm sorry, Meekins. You're not good at it.
Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Yes. Just screenshot that. I just want, like, I just want every court proceeding for the judge to just say, yes, show us the video of you murdering the victim.
I also love, it's hard to see because it's behind the text box, but if you look at the
The name
photo,
tag,
the
ID
photo
card.
of him on the ID, it's just the exact pose that he's currently in.
Yeah.
Just on the photo as well.
That's the only thing he does.
It's a very, first of all, that salute is so wrong. Like, you don't put your palm facing out when you salute. You put your fingers, like, perpendicular to your eyebrow, essentially.
I've seen people salute that way. I don't know if it's like a different thing.
I thought that was a joke anytime I'd ever seen anybody do that.
Maybe.
I don't know. It, like...
I mean, he's a joke, so that would make
Yeah,
sense.
I guess that's fair. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me.
Oh,
You
God.
literally called yourself a murderer at the beginning of this. He said, I'm a murderer. He said it as his occupation. A video of a real murder.
Yeah, but he described it, and he definitely didn't murder anyone.
Yeah.
Like, all he did was pass out.
Yeah. Just what are we getting ourselves into? All right, are we going to actually see this thing? We are. The handprint is still on it, or is already on it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and it's okay, so it's going to pan left, then pan right, and then the death will happen. Or will have already happened, I guess. Oh, wow, you don't even see Goodman's face, but something fell out
Yeah.
of the locker. Oh, and that's what was shoved in the other locker, I guess. There's actually pretty good graphics for this. Wow. Yep, like I said, it pans left, and then by the time it pans right, he's already dead. Yep.
I just love it. The thing was sticking out of the locker already.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's rude.
Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us?
That is in no way what I was thinking, Judge. Thanks.
I was thinking about that steak lunch.
That we gave to Marshall in the last episode. And that if
You
he's
gotta
really,
give me one of those.
yeah, if he's really the murderer, maybe we should have just been able to keep it for ourselves.
Exactly.
Steak is delicious. What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? I was so wondering why this blue badger was like part of the evidence. Like, it made no sense. You alright over there? I'm just trying to say, like, I was confused, right? I was curious why. And that's really funny. Because Edgeworth hasn't seen it yet. Like, it's part of our court record or whatever. It's part of our court record, but it never was like, we haven't used it yet. And I still, even though it's there and it was shown, I still can't imagine, except for that handprint that you're talking about, I can't imagine how it's relevant. But we'll see.
Oh my god. Oh, I can't.
Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir! Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Security video added to the court record. Video from the security camera placed in the evidence room.
Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room, and some sort of, activity did take place.
Because, like, you can't see who's wearing Goodman's outfit. And you can see that they, like, struggle, but if you show Meekins a picture of Goodman, maybe he'll be able to say who it was, or that it was him or not?
Maybe.
Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir. As you wish, sir. Mystery Man. Witness testimony. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. All right, well then I guess that answers that question. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
What's this about a fingerprint?
Each detective has been given a locker, equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman.
Or
Very
his
well.
identical twin.
Because they would have the same fingerprints?
I believe so.
I don't know that for a fact, but I don't...
I don't
you know.
either, but I believe so. I mean, we've talked about this theory before.
But the other thing is, there was that glove.
Because his blood would be the same DNA.
Yeah, but there was that glove at the scene, right? It was hanging across the caution tape, but still, like, if it could have had a fingerprint put on it, then that could be how it was gotten into. I'm really not sure.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
So again, we can just press everything.
Yeah.
And then when it loops back over, we can try to think of evidence to present. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Okay. Mystery Man. Or should I say, Mystery Man! Okay. His face can't be clearly seen in the video. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter. Pfft, the latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not?
More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you?
Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see? I thought he was going to say, like, he was wearing a red muffler over his...
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I bet my badge on it.
Every one of his traits is a bad trait for a police officer.
But there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I don't know why I was just going to read that normally. I apologize. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it.
Since his face can't be identified in the video, only you can verify it and prevent forest fires.
Sorry, if I felt like that was for like a second there, that was the Smokey the Bear voice.
Yeah.
God damn it, I'm so sorry. What? Why is everyone looking at me? Because you're testifying.
You're the fucking witness, dude. Where else are they gonna look?
You're also accused of murder. It's kind of something that people want to look at.
Oh, I can't.
If I had to label your stares as disturbing or...
Meekins!
Eek!
Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now, please be more certain when you testify.
Yes, sir.
You claimed the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him.
I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir. I myself tried all kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. I wonder what kind of methods he tried. Yeah, why would you try?
But if Lana had the fingerprint kit, she might have been able to dust a fingerprint of Goodman's prior to doing this, if it was premeditated.
Okay.
I'm saying Lana, but if really anyone.
Yeah.
If it was premeditated, if they were able to get, say, a fingerprint from his desk,
Okay.
dust it with the stuff, or
Sure, and then
whatever.
transfer it to like a piece of plastic or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen in like movies and stuff.
I don't know if the sensor would work off of the fingerprint, dusted fingerprint,
Right.
stuck to a piece of tape.
Again,
what I
in
mean?
a lot of like spy movies or whatever the hell you want to call it, they have worked in the past where you like put it over your own finger and then press your finger to it and it works because it's like sometimes it's like heat activate, like a cell phone,
Yeah.
right? You can't just like poke at a phone these days or a touch screen with whatever object and have it move.
Right.
It's
You
got to
need
be like
have a
somewhat
stylus
heat
or your
activated.
finger, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If the man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to its registered fingerprints, and I'm not moving my mouth while speaking, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to.
Exactly my point, sir! And this too! The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir! How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir! People in the know? Yeah, this isn't... this isn't hearsay at all.
No.
The workers in the department cafeteria, sir! They keep me informed! They also listen to my romantic troubles, sir!
Oh, God.
What the fuck?
What?
Objection,
Just
relevance.
keeps getting weirder.
What is happening? For the record, the opened locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source.
So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint.
So it must be him! No one else could have unlocked it! Alright, so this is the last pressing. And then again, if it loops us back, we can then try to do things. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face! Sir! If I may say something, sir!
Please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock, and it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir.
It was the hand of Vecna.
My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video?
God.
I mean, I guess there's gotta be, right? Like, there's...
Yeah.
Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth.
I propose
I
we
will
have...
marry you.
Yeah. I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out.
Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence.
That we've literally had one time through to watch.
I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video, oh, thank God. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman?
Okay, let's fast forward it a little bit.
Wait a minute.
What?
Rewind.
All right, it's paused first.
It looked like the locker was already open.
And, by the way, you said that thing was sticking out of the locker already. Right now, it's not.
It was by the end of the video.
Right, because at the end of the video, Goodman wasn't, or whoever's dressed as Goodman wasn't there.
All right, so rewind it to the very beginning. The light above the locker door is lit.
You're absolutely right.
So he came over to open his locker and realized it already was open.
The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? No, the other Officer Meekins, you fucking idiot. As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. Thank you, Amy. Why is this music playing again? Oh, because it's gonna... Yeah, okay. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match... Ow. The light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. Thank you for noticing that light. I did not see that, so that's great. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Okay. Now they're just playing the video for us again? When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. God damn it, Phoenix. Come on, man. We figured this out already. This fucking thing. Here, notice the light? What's this? It's already lit! Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah!
What's that green thing when he does that?
I don't know. Order! Order! What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. The locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked. And yet, when he opened the locker, something fell out because it was blocking the sensor or the lock.
Yeah.
That's what that thing is that fell out and then was shoved into the other locker by Marshall. Officer, or likely by Officer Marshall,
right,
since that's where the bloody handprint was. Oh, I know! It must have broken down! Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh well, it just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked? Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Ms. Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system's sensor? Sounds pretty good to me.
Yep.
Something jammed the sensor? Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. There sure is.
Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the cause for this.
Okay, let's fast forward, because it's not here. It's when he opens it, so we gotta go back to him, then back again. Now we can go regular speed. Pause is, yeah, okay. Oh, it was the glove.
Oh.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, we can do it frame by frame. That's fancy. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Phoenix, come on, man. Why do you have to start from here? we just watched this.
But thankfully the song's not playing.
Yeah, thank God.
What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door, sir.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
Assertion, not insertion.
Beedly. Come on,
This
dude.
is so annoying. But at least it's not playing the fucking song.
Exactly, yeah. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. You've gotten your tie stuck between the door and the sensor before? 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir.
Oh my God, this guy is such a shithead.
2 out of 3 times, Meekins? Not like it's happened 2 or 3 times. No, 2 out of 3 times. Fuck, Meekins.
It's tucked into his coat. There's no reason for it.
Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me.
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. Because it's a rubber glove. That's pretty good.
Always wear a rubber, kids.
Wow.
It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene...
Oh, that's why they specified that the glove was so thin.
Yeah. There just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out.
Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door?
Thank God this is actually like a somewhat
Letting us
easy
do
thing.
something now?
What?
Letting us do something
Yeah,
now?
like... Well, I just mean like these things are easier to figure out.
Yeah.
I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear so, sir.
Oh, it's his sling.
Lanyard. Oh, the sling for the arm?
Yeah.
Order! 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 So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. And yet, because it's beyond a reasonable doubt, to convict someone, that's all we need. We've demonstrated that it is a possibility. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Him again? Sir? Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke?
Yep.
It seems it.
Clearly.
Very well, begin your testimony.
Okay. Mystery Man 2.
Oh, Christ.
There's one other thing that proves that the man was Detective Goodman, sir. I don't know why I had such trouble reading that. It was a perfectly fine sentence. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
An ID card record. I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. Okay. The ID used at 514 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. Because of Phoenix's hair,
Yeah.
all. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleaned up by noon.
Right, I see. Now, let us move on to the cross-examination.
Mystery Man 2. God, this one I'm a little confused about, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Again, we'll just press all the way through and then see what happens. There's one thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir! So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir! Solid as stone, sir! If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir! You have another hand. What? Is the V for victory sign done with 2 hands? You just put a peace sign up, no?
Don't look at me. I don't know what the hell he's talking
Neither
about.
do I. Damn it, Meekins.
He's an idiot.
Couldn't he just use his right hand for that? Thank you, Emma. God, even the scientist knows.
Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Yes, sir. This card right next to my cuffs, sir. I keep it here so I won't ever forget it. But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck.
When you're passed out, per se.
Well, yeah, but again, right. I mean, that isn't how Goodman's got in there, but still. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. I knew that was what he was gonna say. Fucking Meekins, dude.
Idiot.
Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone.
At any rate, each police officer has only 1 ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this.
But he has 2 because he chokes himself with the first one or some shit. I don't know.
Please proceed with your testimony.
When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. We know. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to.
Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman.
What's the matter?
According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here.
He bows. So it is, Your Honor. Not that prosecutor again. Hey, maybe he's behind all this. Being a prosecutor, he could hide the evidence. Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer? Shh, don't stare at him. You've got the wrong color, kid.
It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today.
I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him. Yeah, it must be. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked?
No, there was something stolen from his evidence locker.
Yeah.
And it had been held open.
Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got. Okay. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. All right, so let's just... We have Goodman's ID.
Okay.
But it is the ID number. We have Marshall's fingerprints. We have the glove. We have the floor plans. We have the lost item report.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Somebody presumably the murderer, stole something from his locker that he needed to transfer.
So it's 221 and that's 221.
And so when Meekins approached him, his first, his gut reaction was to try and stab him as opposed to do whatever he asked.
Oh, I think that... I still think that's not Goodman. I think someone's wearing his coat and hat.
Okay.
But I think it's not Goodman. Goodman lost his ID. He wrote up a lost item report for his ID, and someone used that ID on the same day that Goodman was writing the lost item report to get into the evidence room.
The item report is for his ID.
I'm assuming it, yes. I mean, we don't know because it's not finished, but it's on the same day as his ID was swiped in.
I assumed it was a piece of evidence from the PL9 or whatever.
SL9. But no, I don't think so, at least. I mean, I can't say no like you're wrong. I don't know. But.
Because we've just learned that the cases that are in that evidence room are involving people in the department.
Serious or violent crimes or whatever they said involving the police, yeah.
Yeah. So now, if evidence has been stolen or tampered with, it's because somebody in the department is trying to hide the reality of the evidence.
And again, it seems like it's Marshall.
Marshall's doing the bidding of the chief.
Oh, okay, sure.
Because your thought was the chief, which makes just as much sense as Marshall.
Right, yeah.
But we also know that Marshall was around for that other case that we were talking to the Cough-Up Queen about.
Right.
So, I don't know if that's the DL9 or whatever.
SL9.
SL9.
I don't know. I don't remember. They talked about it.
Mixing it up with DL6.
But... They talked about it a bit. I don't remember it offhand, but I'm sure once we get to that point, they'll remind us about it. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. So I'm trying to figure out where is best to present. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Yeah, like, I want to present the lost item report, but I feel like that's not going to be what it is here. I think that's too many steps to jump ahead, where it's like, he lost his ID card. We're assuming that he lost his ID card. Because of that assumption, it makes sense that he wrote up a lost item report for it, but never finished it.
Well, we can present the ID card.
Right, which I think I'm going to use here.
And then maybe Phoenix tells him
Correct.
where it was found.
Yeah, I assume something else will trigger us getting to that point. Yeah. Okay, good. Did it work?
Yeah.
Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. Jesus Christ. You're not good at much.
No.
I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. No. The other crime scene. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue, here it is, regarding the victim's ID card. We were right.
Nice.
Lost item report? It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order! Order! So now, what does this all mean?
It could only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought.
The murderer had the card.
Right. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order! 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 Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, The man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are 2 grounds to support this. Oh, okay. Fucking Edgeworth. Do you get what he's doing?
No.
So, if the guy in the evidence
Weird.
room... What? Well, no. So, if the guy in the evidence room wasn't Goodman, then it's not 2 people, 1 person in the same in 2 places.
Right.
It's different people. Which means that we're helping Edgeworth prove his case that he was in the parking garage being stabbed by our client Lana.
Right.
So he tricked us into proving that it wasn't Goodman there.
Right.
And now he's happy because he's like, good, so your client's still guilty of being over there and killing him.
Yeah, exactly.
You piece of crap, Edgeworth. There are 2 grounds to support this.
He's great.
Yeah. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes? What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of a murder, or of the murder. That is... well, I guess that's right. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well, well. It seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Sorry. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Ms. Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. Ah!
Why is she a trustworthy witness? She hates prosecutors.
Yeah, but still. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered, and where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Object or wait and see what happens?
Just wait.
Yeah, whatever. We'll just chill. No big deal. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Yeah, there's still the second half of the tape. Plus, there's blood all over the floor, which can't have just come from this dude's hand.
Well, he said it did.
No, he said there was blood all over Goodman's shirt.
Yeah.
Or jacket, or whatever you want to call it. But there couldn't have been that much blood on the floor from his hand. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Yep. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary.
I love how you said yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
like,
Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. Why am I still here?
I think, I don't remember whether I told this story or not, but I won't go very far into it, but I have only had that interaction with a judge on the record once. It was not, I was being insulted and I didn't really appreciate it.
Sure.
Whatchamacallit? I mouthed off and I should not have. That was very inappropriate of me. But still, the judge was being extremely condescending and I didn't really appreciate it. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh? Whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room.
Lana Sky.
The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is his or her name?
The judge.
Yeah. So it's either Damon Gant, Mike Meekins, Jake Marshall, Bruce Goodman, Dick Gumshoe, Lana Sky, Emma Sky, or Angel Star. Let's just put Emma up there. She was like, what?
Yeah,
A patrolman investigating the incident at the prosecutor's office thinks he's a cowboy.
Yeah, that's great.
Officer Jake Marshall.
Why him?
I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor. While they prepare their witnesses, it does not seem like it at all.
Nope.
From any of these episodes that we've done.
Not at all.
Court is now in recess.
And you know what that means. When it's to be continued, we'll stop, but it's almost there. February 24th, 11:32 a.m., District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you've figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma. You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
That's the reason why she's not telling you. Because she wants you to actually learn something and be capable.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
Which, when you're in this fucking courtroom, you have to be capable. Because it's not like the fucking judges.
Yeah.
Or any of the witnesses ever.
Yeah.
Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
The fuck was that about?
Wait, Detective Gumshoe.
Oh.
What is it?
You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making the detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey! 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 I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky.
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
Oh! 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 You mean this, right?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name?
Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy.
The SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
He has 20 minutes to read this? That's a stack of files.
Welcome to the legal profession, Amy. Nice to see you.
20 minutes. Yeah, he has better luck using it as toilet paper.
I mean, we can at least maybe hand half of it off to Emma, or like a third of it off to Lana, and a third of it off to Emma.
Okay.
Anyway, Ms. Sky was a witness? SL9 incident files received from Lana Sky. Files for the Joe Dark killings solved 2 years ago.
Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders.
Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that... And so that's why Lana was just admitting to it. Because otherwise this would have gone back on her sister. And she was protecting her sister from being caught back up in the SL9 incident nonsense that she seemingly doesn't even remember. And so Lana's trying to take the fall for this so that nobody looks into the SL9 incident. It just looks like she stabbed him with Edgeworth's knife, not the knife from SL9, so that they have to look back into that. With stuff going on with Marshall and Goodman. That's my guess. It's becoming a little clearer. That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? No, Lana! That's over with! No! Emma, wait! She ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here.
Wow.
Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth, not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. To be continued.
Nice. This is crazy.
This was the easiest episode of this particular chapter that we've had so far. We didn't get a single thing wrong. We didn't really have to sit here and question what to do next over and over again. This made a hell of a lot more sense.
No, it didn't. Everything Meekins said made no sense at all. Everything that came out of his mouth was just fucking gibberish.
Yeah, but he's the comic relief, right? It seems. I mean, I don't know why he doesn't know Marshall's face versus Goodman's or whatever, but I don't know. That's probably just to propel this forward.
he also said he's never met Goodman before.
Yeah. So, anyway, we'll figure this out next week, obviously, because...
He didn't say it in this one, but he said it in one of the other ones.
Right. Really, really interesting. All right. So, I mean, this one was much better.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, it was hilarious, at least.
We did enjoy ourselves this time. So, yeah, I want to know people's thoughts. As always, leave them in the comments below. Let us know what you thought of this particular episode. Let us know what you thought of our deductions. If you've not played this game before, do you agree with what I think is coming up or is about to happen? Do you have other thoughts? And if you have played this game before, don't spoil it for your fellow viewers. For us, we will have played the game already, so you're not going to get us by revealing something because we will have played the whole game before these go live. But
what do you think of this Officer Meekins assuming that he is the one who murdered somebody, even though he basically just passed out while somebody else murdered somebody?
I mean, he's just obviously unsure of himself as a person.
Yeah.
So throwing himself on his sword and trying to be more honorable about it and being nope, I did it. I can kind of get it. Obviously, it's exaggerated because that's the type of character that Meekins is. He seems to be comic relief to a degree. And so they're just exaggerating his personality, I think, for the game. So, I don't know. That's how I feel about it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
So
we've had 2 people confess to 2 murders.
Yeah.
Only one murder seems to have actually occurred.
Right. And neither of them seem plausible.
Neither of them have done it.
Seemingly,
and
yeah.
yet both of them have confessed.
Yeah. It seems that way.
It's just absurd.
It's also possible that Lana did kill Goodman, and she did so because Goodman was trying to, reveal some evidence about SL9 or whatever, or, lie about something. Maybe he was working with Marshall, And so he was going to reveal something about SL9 that like would have implicated Emma more than it did previously. And Lana found out about it and was like, well, to protect my sister, I'm going to kill him to stop him from doing it. But also just, you know, I got caught. So I'm just like, yep, I did it. Throw me away. No questions asked. Like, let's not have a trial. Let's not look into this. Just put me in jail, you know?
Okay.
I don't know. A lot of different options, a lot of different guesses. But yeah, I guess.
Yeah, because I assumed she was doing that for Edgeworth when all this stuff was Edgeworth's stuff. His car, his knife. You know.
Yeah, it just makes sense, you know, that Phoenix has said that these two, Lana and Emma, are akin to Mia and Maya.
Right.
And so it makes sense that Lana would want to kind of protect Emma any way she could, based on how close they are.
I don't see any reason why Emma would have actually been involved in another case.
We don't know anything about SL9, and the fact that Emma doesn't know anything about SL9 or like remember anything about it, although she seemed to be really upset about the name Joe Dark. So maybe that was...
she remembers it. She just didn't remember that it was SL9
for it. And so maybe Joe Dark was their father or older brother or something. That's my guess. We'll see where that goes. Hopefully next week things will become a little bit clearer. We will have another episode of Trial, as we have had in this chapter. It's been like one of investigating, two of trial, one of investigating, two of trial kind of a thing. So we will be back next week with the continuation of this series. As I mentioned earlier, please don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell. You'll get notifications for next week's episode and any other series and episodes that we have on this channel, as well as, again, our other channels linked down below. Also, don't forget to like and share. That stuff is super, super helpful to us.
Yes.
So thank you in advance for that. If you appreciate the stuff that we do, let it be seen by more people so that we can keep making more of this stuff for all of you.
Please.
Yes. And as always, thoughts, suggestions, etc., that's what the comments down below are for. But for now, from us here at the Geek for All family of channels, I have been Joe.
And I'm Amy.
And as we always say, in whichever video of ours you watch next, we will see you all next time. Thanks, everybody.